Most people hear that word and think of a gigantic snake, but the yellow ones are the smaller ones. They reach lengths of about 14 feet, and she's nearing 13 feet right now. So she's not going to get much longer. However, she will continue to gain weight. Anacondas have the problem of gaining so much extra weight for their body length, it slows them down substantially. They're not able to catch their food on land anymore. In order to survive once they're so large, they do have to live in rivers because it's much easier to move through the water and there's lots of fish they can survive on. But they won't hesitate to attack other animals at the water's edge. Now, Anna will only get large enough to attack monkeys and birds. But we do have the green anaconda that's over here. These lizards will sit up in trees and watch crocodiles to find their eggs. Crocodile eggs are his favorite food. He actually is the closest living relative of the velociraptor, a dinosaur that was known to steal and eat dinosaur eggs, just like he'll steal and eat crocodile eggs. And physically, he does have similarities between him and the raptor in the shape of his claws and also in the shape of his head. And with that long tail of his, he'll reach 10 feet in length. But with all the length being in the tail, he'll only weigh about 30 pounds, which is still very small for a long goby. We have Chompers. She's our 20-year-old American alligator. And a lot of people don't realize that alligators are really just as scared of us as we are of them. They're quite passive and will leave us alone as long as we leave them. Turtles are known to be the largest freshwater turtles in the world, and they're found right here in the United States. You can find them in the southern part of the Mississippi River, parts of Louisiana, and Florida. And Grumpy weighs over 130 pounds. He's extremely large, but he's also extremely old. We know he's over 150, probably in his early to mid 160s, because we found a .44 caliber musket ball stuck in his shell that dated back about 140 years ago to the Civil War. And you can still see the bullet hole. It's visible in his shell. It's on his left side, so you have to stand in the corner and look just over. And that little round black hole, that is the bullet hole. Reticulated pythons are known to be the longest snakes in the world. They reach lengths between 25 and 30 feet, as long as a school bus. And she's around 20 feet and 200 pounds, and while she is very big, she is in fact the smallest of our 4 large snakes here. You will see 3 other snakes today that are bigger than Fiona. 2 of them are over 300 pounds. And in here we have 4 Colombian red-tailed boas, all unrelated females that do get along. Together, they know that lying together is actually safer in the wild. They do look much larger, which would scare away any predator that would otherwise want to eat the smaller ones. Also, it does help holding the body heat much better for them. Since they are cold-blooded, they only get their body heat during the day when the sun is out. At night, they do get much colder faster. So wrapping up together is like snuggling up in a blanket for us. In white color, of course, they cannot hide from their predators. Most predators will see and eat them much faster. They also cannot see their predators or their food since they tend to be born individual predators as well. Now the worst is without the dark coloring in their skin, they have no natural sunblock, and the sun is able to go right through the skin, burning them from the inside out. It'll cook them all the way through. They do not even survive long enough in the wild to be found by dark white, but you can see right through them. The brown color on the side is the color of the muscle under the skin. There is no skin color there in those areas. The sun will directly burn the muscle and cause a fatal burn in just a matter of minutes. These lizards are, however, highly intelligent, known to learn how to use a litter box, walk on the leash, and deliver animals being born out by. We know what creates it, we know which animals are capable of doing this, but just because they carry the gene necessary doesn't mean they will pass it to their offspring, and doesn't mean the gene will actually physically affect scavengers eating scraps of meat they find. So in the event that they are starving, they are powerful enough to hunt an animal as large as a goat. The tail can break bones, any bone in our body, including our skull. It has no feeling in the tail, and it can swing like a baseball bat. He will not chase the animal, being that he is lazy. Alligators in captivity right now. The chances of finding one are 1 in 25 million. That's the same chance to get struck by lightning twice in your life. And unfortunately, you notice you take a picture and use flash, then he doesn't blink. He actually cannot see the flash. His cataracts have gotten so bad that he cannot see anything anymore. So last year his vision has been fading in and out, and he would actually blink and respond to bright flashes of light, but he no longer does. Because he can't see anything and wasn't able to see much before, he is very scared of things around, including pythons. These snakes, while they can grow very large, are very deadly, even though they are constrictor. They do squeeze their prey. They have no venom, but they are so large they can constrict animals the size of goats and deer in the wild, and that's what they do eat quite regularly. They also are known to attack and kill, and even on occasion consume humans. In fact, reticulated pythons are more so known as man-eaters, even more than anacondas. They actually are a lot more fast around, but they do grow quite long, up to 8 feet. They're actually the longest snake in North America. They do eat large rodents such as gophers and even prairie dogs, whereas the corn snakes are smaller, reaching only 4 feet long, and they eat small rodents like mice. They actually do live in caves for her to move around. In fact, she is very reliant on the buoyancy of water since she was found living in a river in Venezuela over 6 years ago. She was wild caught before coming to Serpent Society.
That's huge.
That is huge. She starts to wake up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, you're too big for food. You're not the zookeeper with us. Now in the next case we have 2 Suriname red-tailed boas. Now the Suriname red-tailed boas are actually known to be true boa constrictors. That's their scientific name. They actually do have many differences between the Colombian red-tailed boas, such as they grow long. So over generations, their feet began to grow into these flippers to adapt to their new environment. He uses his little pig nose like a snorkel, so whenever he needs air, he'll put just the tip out of the water to breathe, and that will help keep him hidden from other animals. Now you'll see our 2 very odd-looking reptiles. That's our mata turtle and caiman lizard. They both come from the Amazon and get along great since they eat separate food. The lizard loves insects. His favorite are snails. He'll chew right through the shells to get the meat inside, consuming nearly 100 every week. Whereas the turtle has a head shaped like a leaf, so that on the bottom of the Amazon River he is able to hide and wait for fish, and once they swim within a few feet of his face, he'll simply open his mouth and suck them up like a vacuum. That's huge. Here we have Delilah. Delilah is the heaviest living snake in captivity. She's a Burmese python that weighs over 380 pounds, she's 25 feet long, and she's only 23 pounds for breaking the world record. We know this because we did have the python that set the record. Her name was Baby. She was certified by Guinness in 1999, but at the time of setting the world record, Baby was already 21 years old, whereas Delilah here is only around 15. Since she is a bit younger, she actually does have more time to live and grow, so we are expecting her to set her own world record that surpasses Baby. At this point, she eats whole chickens, geese, turkeys, even baby pigs. 50 pounds of food in one meal. And while she may eat 50 pounds at once, she's only fed 6 times a year because it takes so long to go through the body. And at this point, it's large enough to be able to go an entire year without eating. Delilah would only need fresh water in order to survive.
Jeez.
All crocodiles are aggressive, but the Nile crocodiles are some of the worst, known to protect thousands of people each year. They are not only aggressive, they are known to be the largest reptile in Africa. Females reach up to 800 pounds. Males reach up to 2,000 pounds, as heavy as a car. While they are very large, the Nile crocodile is also known to be very fast, able to run up to 30 miles an hour for a short distance on land, as well as swim 40 miles an hour in the water. And they are even capable of jumping 10 feet side to side, as well as 5 feet right up in the air, which makes it extremely difficult to take care of her in captivity. In fact, the zookeeper does not get in the tank with her unless she is locked behind this metal gate. and that's only when it's absolutely necessary. Other than that, on a daily basis, she is fed as seen through 5 doors that are up in the roof of her habitat. However, when feeding time comes, they must use the doors randomly.